All right, we're live. What's up, guys? There's Mike Side, Lockjaw Jones, A. Perez, and Rigo Rockstar. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the daytime stream for Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday. Boy, it's hard to keep track of the days of the week sometimes. Let's see. We've got some beautiful Fates Collide in front of us. Those are nice blister packs, by the way. Blister packs are really nice. All right. Plug these in. We'll grab this. What do we got? Okay. Monday Junior. Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. So this shall say Fates Collide blisters. Rotating through lots of slabs. New breaks, live card shop. Alright, we still don't have Pokemon Black and White. The tracking has told us we'll get it on Wednesday. Oh, that reminds me, I have to pay the import fee on that. There's a $150 import fee. It's all part of the game, guys. Let's see. We're going live for Tuesday daytime. All right, there goes. Very nice. I'll jump over here. Plug that in. All right, good. Wow, Mike Side did a good job on the thumbnail. Hey, Mike Side, how about some money? You want some money, dude? Let's get Mike Side some money. Let's see. Mike Side, I pretty consistently forget what we agreed to. Oh, here it is. So I have to look up how much we agreed to, and then I send you that. Killer music. I don't even know what this is. Oh, I think I recognize it. This is Mega Man, right? Sounds like Mega Man to me. Okay, we're gonna jump over here. And we have it on fast forward. I like to play my music on fast forward to get you all pumped. Some music's already naturally fast, though. Send money. Okay. So this song's already pretty fast, so it sounds really crazy when it's sped up. But some songs are really slow, and they sound much better when you speed them up. Okay. And there we have it. Yay! Jumping down here. Pinning this. Lovely. Okay, how about these emails? Any important emails? Monster Hunter Now. Ooh. Okay, review your order. Beckett grading. What's this all about? Let me delete all these. Thinking of selling? PSA can handle it for you. Derek, I hope you had a great weekend. I've included our standard consignment rate. Okay, so PSA's consignment rate is basically the eBay fee, 13%. And, you know, it's interesting. The PSA consignment under $100 is 13% plus a $3 flat fee. That's very fascinating. Okay, so that was really fascinating to see. Okay. Beckett grading, verification complete. Okay, just the verification. They haven't actually graded anything. They're just saying we identified your cards. Da-da-da-da-da. Looks like the company that does my accounting is increasing the cost of the accounting. Here. All right, I'm going to respond to that. Okay. I've been tempted to get a different accounting company, but they understand my business, so it's kind of scary to make a change, you know? Because then you'll have to reteach a new group how everything over here works. All right, here's a Mr. Ivan. Let's see. If you have the mask, let me know. I'd like to buy them. What? Hell no, bro. Next song. What the hell? Okay, I'm just going to respond to that real fast. And Mr. Raphael. Oh, let me respond to this. Okay, respond to that. So that's good. All right, very nice. So I just answered all my emails, guys. Let's go ahead and get these priced up, huh? How about these packs, these Fates Collide? Doobie 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 doo. Scooby doobie doo. My blisters come from a sealed case of blisters. I also have blisters for another set. It's called XY Breakpoint. There we go. I got a whole case of Breakpoint blisters. Never been opened. These have been opened, but they're not picked through or anything, so they're good. They're actually really good. Fates Collide booster box. I'm gonna see what a booster box costs. All right, so they look like they're about 2K, huh? Good. Divided by 36. Whew. A booster pack from a fresh box is very pricey. I don't know if I want to sell them for that much. All right. Well, hold on. Let me try this. I think we're going to go for these sexy mamas. How about 40 bucks? What do you guys think? 40 bucks? I think that's even kind of low. I think these will sell fast at 40. You never know. Got any OG black and white? I don't think I have a lot. I mean, I have a whole booster box of black and white Dragons Exalted. Whole booster box of that. Wonder what that goes for now. I think I have 2 booster boxes of it. Which I don't know. I don't know where I keep my stuff anymore. I used to keep my stuff in the room, but for security reasons, it's all been changed. So I don't even know where they are anymore. They're somewhere. They're in a safe place. All right. What I say 40? Did I just say 40? Okay. I have Black Flame. Black Flame sounds like black. All right. When you get mine, can you do them together? Yeah, I can do that, Mr. Michael. Yours can be done together. All right, how about that, guys? Does that look nice? That's nice. Man, that looks sexy as hell, man. We love old stuff. By the way, you know, on the menu, we added something. You might not have noticed it. We added something to the menu when you weren't looking. So, did you guys know, if you go to Pokemon English and scroll down, we have XY Red-Blue Charizard box. Ooh, that's pretty good. The XY Charizard box. It's pretty amazing. It comes with a promo of Charizard from the XY era. And then, I don't know how many generations packs are in it. Is it just 4? It might just be 4. I think it's like 4 generations packs. But the Charizard promo is a big deal, because if he were to grade 10, he's a multi-$1,000 card. Anyways, I'm trying to get those premium collection boxes on the menu, because they're so cool. I'll scroll this up. All right. How about them riots, though, huh? So, first order of the day. Hit refresh. So, this week has been a little bit slow. I think everyone's just kind of waiting for the black and white to arrive. Steven Sistrunk, paying down low Tina. You got it. If only my stuff arrived at the same time as everyone else's. No. I gotta wait like a whole week later. Just, it's not right. I told Karis that's why we gotta move. She doesn't want to move from this house. Today she was like, no, I like this house too much. We're getting attached, guys. We can't do that. I told her we gotta go. Stick around in the same house too long, you start to like it. I think it's kind of fatigue from shopping too much for a new place to move. At one point, you just go, oh my gosh, what if we just didn't move? There it is, but we got to go, man. We can't be here. We can't be here, like, waiting an extra week for, like, basic product. It's not going to happen. It just can't be that way. Can't be waiting a whole extra week for basic product. Thank you, Mr. Steven. All right, so now we have 2 orders from our friend Michael Pedalford. He wants 6 Lost Abyss, 2 Black Flame, and then 10 Black Flame and 1 Lost Abyss. So a total of 7 Lost Abyss, is that right? You want to increase it to 7, is that it? Where's my Lost Abyss? Wanted to know if you're down for that trade. Yeah, I'm interested. It's a pretty small trade. This. Oh, but how does a trade work? You know, when I think about it, oh, I know. I'll just buy the card from him. I know how it'll work. Yeah, I'll buy the card from the guy who has it on commission, and then I'll trade the card with you. Problem solved. So 7 of these, and then you want a total of what? 12 of the Black Flame? I think that's what we're doing here. 12 of the Black Flames. So here's 2. There we go. Is this where I do my condolences for the loser of the Musk-Trump match? Yeah, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did you see my Discord message about Dragonite Top Slabs? Oh, I think you said that you found one that was more expensive. We will absolutely update that for you. I just like you, I'm interested in selling it for top dollar because I make some of that money too, right? So I'm on the same page. Anytime you guys are selling a slab on commission, I'm on the same page on selling it. We don't want to undersell. Oops, that would be bad. Where'd he go? Oh, he's on this side, I remember. All right, so that says 195, but I believe that is incorrect, everybody. Zach, I saw that. I was probably falling asleep when I saw it. Could you bump that message for me, Mr. Zach? Wait, are you Slagathor? Ah, there it is. Okay, so you're saying he's 200. Okay, so he's a bit more expensive, guys. He's a bit more expensive than 195. It is. If I ever misprice someone else's slab, I can't honor the incorrect price. It has to be corrected. Okay, just letting you guys know that ahead of time so you don't get really upset. But if it's ever incorrectly priced, we have to fix it. Everyone knows that the minimum price on these slabs is the cheapest buy it now price. So he found one where the minimum price is $248. Is that right? What were we basing ours on? All right, let me see. Tops Dragonite. Weird. When I type in Tops Dragonite, it doesn't show up at all. So it shows up for you, but not for me. Oh, man, that card looks so cool. You know, I gotta get into the business of buying 9s already. Cards have gotten so expensive, I need to start specializing in 9s. I don't even shop for 9s. It's probably like this completely ignored market. Well, not ignored, but I bet a lot of experts don't play in the 9s. There's a Rainbow 9 Dragonite. It looks fantastic. Okay. I think you need to add the E12. I'm going to test that out. E12. Oh, that's ridiculous. It shows up when you type in E12. Why would eBay's search database work that way? That's a terrible system. Terrible. No one's going to find it. Because when they search Tops Dragonite, it's not going to show. Wow. Yeah, be sure, if you're the person who sent the slabs in with me, feel free to challenge any of the prices and say, like, hey, actually, it should be higher. Wow, that's nuts, dude. Gotta love eBay. That's not right, you know, because the guy trying to sell his, no one can find it. That ain't right. It's the card number. Yeah, you just have to, it won't show up. There's only like, so if you remove the card number on the E12, there's only 8 results. Only 8. like this. Let me show you guys. I'll show you this problem. Okay, so check it out. There's only 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is a 9 right here. Okay, so you type in the E12. Let me type that in. E12. Okay, you type in the E12. You hit search. And then just one Dragonite shows up, and there he is. And look, it's Topps Pokemon Dragonite. There's no typos. So why did it do that? It wouldn't give us that result unless we added the E12. So it's like the search bar doesn't understand what a Dragonite is. It only understands the E12. That is terrible. That's crazy, man. I had to remove TCG from the listing as it was confusing the software. What is this music, man? This is terrible music. Sonic Boom. Supersonic Racing. I don't know. Just trying to get some good music here. This Smash Brothers music. All right. Okay, so here we are. Very nice. You ready? I saw a Femboy tab open. No! Here's a cold one. Here's a Femboy! What? Now they know. RuneScape music. Do you have any booster slabs for sale? I do have booster slabs. We have this one as a break. Ta-da! All right. So here's a cold one. Here's The Room. Always down to chill to OSRS. There you go. How much are the Fates Collide? The Fates Collide are $40 each. Do you have any booster slabs? I noticed that with some of my listings. 56 months with TCC. I finally did it. Russ! What's up, Russ? There we go. Here's Hollow. Here's... Oh, look. It's the Ice Cube. But he's made out of fire. Here, oops. Here's Scizor. Oops. Here's a cold one. And it's Entei. Rawr. How's life going, Mr. Russ? Anything interesting? How's your Pokemon card collection? It's huge? Ta-da! Well, you pulled the ultimate Femboy card. All right. He's got style. He's got pink hair. There you go. He clearly doesn't lift. Let's go ahead and snip this. I got 50 more months to hit 56 months. It's like I'm leasing a car. What is the big hits in Fates Collide again? Well, there's a golden Alakazam Umbreon Lugia card. There's also a full art Umbreon. There's a couple interesting Lugia cards, Hollow and Reverse Hollow and Break. There's some good Alakazam cards. I'm betting the top pull, though, is the Umbreon full art. There's an Umbreon full art. That is probably the top pull. Ooh, Kyogre. One of my friends turned 30. We're getting old. Look at me. I'm 36, bro. I'm old already. Okay. It's all over for you, Russ. You were a young man when we met. Now you're old. Oh, my back. Oh. Okay. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn implies you own a home. No one's going to own a home in the future. Here we are. All right. Homes are going to cost $14 billion. That's for Michael Pettiford. Mr. Michael. Ugh. There we go. I finally graduated high school. Hey, you get off my lawn. Hello, Mr. Dakota Burns. How are you? I turn 32 soon. I'm curdled milk. Do you still play Monster Hunter? I have not touched Monster Hunter Wilds in like 2 or 3 weeks. It started out with me trying to do a consistent schedule where I played it once a week. And then I failed to do that because of really important things that popped up. Not just card shop stuff, but just other things. And I missed it once, and then I missed it twice, and the third time I was like, I'm just skipping it. I don't know. What is there to do in Monster Hunter Wilds right now? Are there any like actually kind of like tough monsters? It's weird. I feel like I was expecting the game to be a lot more than it was, and maybe that's because we've played so much Monster Hunter now that, you know, they're releasing the next iteration of the game, and yeah, you're expecting the usual stuff, but I was expecting a really robust end game, and there just wasn't one. And most importantly, I hate the new build system. It took me a while to really reach that conclusion, but the new system where you can only put attack decorations on your weapons and you can only put defense decorations on your armor, I hate it. I absolutely hate it, and it makes me not want to play. It makes me feel like you're kind of boxed in. Like they're saying, we'll tell you what your armor build will be like by the, the inherent skills in the armor, and then you just have to wear that. And that's it. You just pick the armor, and that's it. You're done. No builds. So I didn't like that, and as a result, I just don't feel the urge to play it. But I'm not really playing anything either. I'm just kind of working. I drank 12 Monsters yesterday. Careful, man. Caffeine poisoning is a real thing. Okay, here's Christopher Houghton. 10 Japanese Crimson Haze packs. Crimson Haze. That's not good for your heart, by the way. There's people who die from that. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad I'm still 28. Pretty old. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is Crimson Haze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's this? Did they already pause my music? No, the music's like stuck. What is going on? The music's stuck. Let me scroll back to the top. Oh, he wants the Gray Ninja. Crimson Haze is a good price set. Cheap, affordable. Good cards in it. Ta-da! My knees hurt. My back hurts. Comes with being 40. Wait, Arturo, are you actually 40? You're lying. He's not 40. Gonna snip this. Here we are. Look who's talking, TCC. Humph. Hey, I'm a young spring chicken. Mister, you have to risk it for the biscuit. Oh no, typo. There it is. Lovely. All right, try out our Poke Shuffles, guys. $5. Oh, that's why you open Crimson Haze right there. Try out our Poke Shuffles. $5 chance for a slab. $5 gives you a shot at a slab. Here's Cramorant. Cramorant. Mister, I'm 44. What? Okay, there we go. The bear. Would you rather be with a man or a bear? I'm choosing the bear. Mister, I'm 86. It is. Here's Torkoal. Okay, mister, I'll get more Poke Shuffles. I'm just supposed to advertise them from time to time. No, for real, I'm 44. Man, I do miss the good old days of doing what you can with no responsibility. When you grow up, you pay bills, get more freedom. The camera lady said, SAR, someone blank and get a waifu shuffle. McChicken's young like me. You know, we had some older gentlemen in the stream yesterday night. There were actually, I think, 2 guys who mentioned their age at separate times. And so there were some older gentlemen there last night. Christopher Houghton. There we are, Christopher. I think a card shop is kind of like this place where you can enjoy opening some cards instead of just like drinking alcohol and still hang out with people. We have an online shop, so it's very accessible. That's the problem we have is what do you do if you don't want to drink alcohol all day to be social? You got to find something to do, you know what I'm saying? Check this out. Here are those fake Clyde's packs and the thumbnails. A little bit of fun there. Not too many of them available. Limited. Okay, let's rotate. So we got some really, really nice slabs up here. This is a Tammy slab, $200, One Heart, Elsa, and Anna. Dusclops. That's one of my cards. It's a good card. Pikachu. This girl with their boobs out. This is only 5 spots away, by the way. This is a huge card, very expensive. Pop 33. It's really not that common at all. Comes out of Sneaker Bunko. Could go down as one of the naughtiest Weiss cards ever. Because there's only so many naughty Weiss cards. They don't make a million of them. Here's Good Relationship Suzu. That is a Stex card. Mr. Stexkowski. Peter Fenalty, difference for the Evolution Prismatic 9 for Espeon Terra 10 and 1 Destin Rivals, please. All right, now wait a second. Let me go grab it. So it's under Peter Fenalty, huh? Let me go grab it. He really wants this trade really bad. I haven't seen it yet. Put these down with me. All right. Running up and down those stairs, man. Here we are. So, we got Peter Fenalty. Also have this Paul Bradley. That's from 2113. That's forever ago. And Peter Lucas. Are these expired? These are really old. Okay. Let's go look up Peter Lucas. I'm curious. Peter Lucas was last here. No. Lucas. What are you doing in here? Kara's trying to hang out. She's desperate. Yeah. She came in here one time during the fossil break. Now she thinks she belongs in here. Is that what it is? Wow, lonely. Wow, I can't find this guy at all. So I think those are extremely old. I can't find his email at all. Yes, so Peter Lucas isn't showing up at all. So his stuff has to be from like a really long time ago. Okay, and then this one over here is Paul Bradley. That's John's old handwriting. Paul Bradley. Yep, 2023. So those are over 2 years old. Paul Bradley was last seen in 2023. So you're looking at a slab that is 2 years old, at least. That Lucario though. So these are an example of abandoned slabs. Sometimes people abandon slabs, not just... of course, back in the day, these are not very valuable. So when these came out, that says 2020, this says 2022. When these came out, they didn't really sell for very much. Actually, that might still be true. I don't know what these are worth, but we'll get these crossed. We'll get these updated. And then this one graded 9. He probably just didn't want it. He's probably like, eh. All right, so there it is. I'll set these over here. Leave their names on them. And now, Peter Fenalty. Yeah, don't abandon your slabs. Slabs generally get more time than 1 full year, but not a whole lot more time, okay? So don't assume that. Slabs have a pretty, they're like a more obvious value, but okay. So he got this in a break. There were 5 people in this break, and he wants a trade for a guy back here. This Eevee. All right, so give me a minute here. I'm going to look into this real fast, everybody. I got to see what the Espeon's going for today. Espeon 211. Okay. You said how much? So you said about a $30 difference. That's fine. $30. Well, hold on. Wait a second. No, well, there's one here for $100, right? So that's $100, and that's $55. So what I would say, Peter, is there's a larger difference between them than what you probably sent in for, because this one's $100 right here. That's $100. And so there's a $55 difference. And so I'd say, yeah, the trades, the difference isn't paid for. That's why I'd say. You still watching, Mr. Peter? He's probably still watching, right? So what you would need to do, you've already sent 40. You need to send 15 in, and that would make them even. So that would be an even trade. I had some slabs for a long time, mister. Probably lost them by now. Huh. Well, if they're over a year old, I'd say there's a very good chance they've been taken. If they're a lot over a year old, they're definitely taken. If your slabs are like 9 months old, 11, maybe even 12 months old, I would definitely check, because they might actually still be here. Like I said, I don't really like to take slabs. Bags I don't really care about. You're no luck. If your bag got to a year old, you're almost definitely taken off the table, because there's no room on the table. That's why we do it. Slabs, it's not really as much of a case. We have more room for the slabs, but there's a point where they're like really, really old, and they're just like kind of clogging the box up, you know? If you're doing the shipping, you're kind of annoyed by it. So 2 years is plenty, you know? It's a lot of time. I believe it has been over a year. Yeah, you could send in like maybe like a penny message, or maybe like a $2 tip or something. I don't know, something. And maybe I run off and go check for you. But let me have a sip here. I will say this about abandoned slabs. They're almost never good. Like, for example, so that's an abandoned slab. You know, it's just a 9.5 hollow. Nobody's really spending more than $25 on this. So once again, you see that the abandoned cards are typically cards people aren't flipping over to acquire. All right, so is Peter Fenelty here? Did he take care of this? Peter Fenelty, you're short for the trade. We're short because we found one of these for $100, and this is $155. So before we go through with that, we got to have that updated. Okay, that'll be $4,000 one day. Yeah, maybe like 100 years from now. Pokemon's still around. Okay. So we have Jose Arredondo, Booster Slab, Gym Battle. Okay, he's jumping in, guys. It's a fun way to acquire these. 1989 Topps Nintendo Wax Packs. What could be better than that? I mean, that's Princess Peach. So that's not going out of style, in my opinion. You know, Nintendo, they just broke a record on sales for their Switch 2. Everyone was so negative about it. They sold 3 million, which beat the previous record of like 1 million for, what was it, like a PlayStation or something? So they're doing record numbers over at Nintendo. That says Nintendo, and that's Princess Peach. So this is solid stuff right here. Very good. Here's Bill Barron. Sent a payment on April 21st for PSA grading. Haven't seen anything in Discord yet. You know, let me take a quick look into this, Mr. Barron. It could be right here. Let's take a quick look. Now, as you know, Bill, Mr. Bill, the way we do it, we send everything together in a batch. Okay, not there. We send everything together in a batch. What's this? Is this mine? Oh, I think this needs to be in some sort of top loader. Not top loader, I'm sorry. Some sort of semi-rigid. All right, let me put this over here. What do you think about the new Xbox handheld? Yeah, we've been talking a lot about that. It looks really good. There's a lot of positive reviews for it. People are comparing it to the Switch 2 and saying, hey, I want the Xbox. But I think the fact that it plays both Steam and accesses Xbox, you know, game library is probably the selling point. So People are probably going to consider it for sure. All right, let's see. Mr. Bill. Okay. I got a lot of stuff. Here we are. I haven't passed it by a mistake, have I? Mr. Bill, we are just about to send it out, by the way, if it's still over here. Bill Barron. What exactly was it, Bill? Did we pass it, guys? Bill Barron. I sent 21 for PSA grading. Let me put this back here. On April 21st. And that was in April. And then we went through May. So, okay, so I'm thinking about it out loud. And to me, that sounds like it would have already gone out. That's what it sounds like to me. Because we would have sent a submission out during May, probably. And he says, I didn't see anything in Discord. Okay, we're just checking here real fast again. Brett. We like Mr. Brett. He's been very good to us. Go. Okay, bunch of TCC cards going out. I've seen like 4 with your name on them. Okay. Sending out a lot of cool stuff. These are really cool, man. Those are so cool. Let's put these into a thing together like this. My sleeves. Unless that's the Cool Kid box. What we're going through right now is not the Cool Kid box. This is our outgoing grades box. Keep those together. I like those. So, Bill, it's not in here. This kind of implies to me that it went out. Could you tell me what it was, Bill? Maybe I simply didn't write it down when I submitted it. That would be a simple, sort of like data entry mistake. Is Bill here? It was the hit of the day. Read Peter's message. Okay, so where's Peter? Peter responded. Oh. I don't see the response. Let me go ahead and turn on all messages. Okay, now. I don't even see the message. I'm sorry. Peter, could you repeat the message real fast? Oh, Vulpix is Peter. I have a Team Rockets Nido King in my bag if you want that for the rest of the trade. Okay, let me take a quick look at that. A Team Rockets Nido King, like what, just like an EX? I would probably just prefer to have cash, but let's see what you mean by that. Oh, I see. A Japanese Team Rocket. I don't really want to buy your Team Rocket Nido King for $15 right now. I think what I would want would be the cash for the card. Here it is. But you could take your Nido King and sell it for $15 when it gets back to you. So that's possible. So you would basically just be doing the same thing, just with that extra step. Let's put this back over here. Okay, so I'm alerted to Bill Barron wondering where his card is. Let me close this. I'm going to jump over here. It's not a good thing to do live. This would be a good thing to do in email because it's hard for me to do this live. But I'm going to go check the PSA submission channel. He said it was for PSA, right? Okay, PSA submissions. Danny, Gavin, Jacob, Nathan. Yeah, I don't see it either. Yeah, get in touch with me on Discord. Get in touch with me on email. We'll go looking for it. Here's the possibilities. It's still over here. And maybe it was placed into a box, and I didn't pull it from that box when we were doing the submission. That's probably unlikely. The other thing that's possible is it went into the wrong submission, so maybe I submitted it with a different company, so you want to check all the channels real fast. Another possibility is I did submit it, I just didn't write your name down into the Discord server. That's highly likely. That's the most common mistake. It's a simple typing mistake, so that's the most likely situation here, but we'll figure it out, okay? Because that's very important. So let me know what it was you had, and we'll get you taken care of, okay, Mr. Bill? Bill, if you're looking for my email's at the top of the description, okay? All right, let me rotate these. Bill Barron, I don't remember what he had. Here's Mew. Here's Gengar. Oh, we have a lovely Gengar here, guys. Charizard Break. And Dragonair Break. Cool. Okay. So we have a Rigoberto Gill grading. PSA grading for my Fossil Magneton from the break. Hell yeah, dude. I was hoping we'd pretty much send out all these. I'm tempted to just send out this Hitmonlee as well without Brett's permission. Because I would grade it. Oh, well, it's got white dots on it. It's going to grade 9. Here's Rigoberto Gill. So, Rigoberto Gill, if this grades 10 and you don't like Magneton, sell it to me. I love Magneton, and I would be happy to own it. So, you've got a guy who might be interested in your Magneton. Here it is. Very nice. And if we do that, I'll mark it as a card that came from our own box, which that's what makes it so fun, is knowing that we pulled it live. Okay. Oh, wait. We got to write PSA on it. Do we? I pretty much know you're sending it to PSA. I sent you $2. Let's see how old they are. All right, so we'll go hunting for your slabs in just one moment. It's possible they're still here. Michael Barrett. Is that your name that you would have bought them under? Like, for example, would you have bought them with PayPal using a PayPal account that says Michael Barrett? They are. I like Dave here because of the word. Yup. Oh, I did win the Destined Rivals also. Maybe you stuck it in there. Maybe okay, I did win the Destined Rivals. I'm a little confused. Set this over here. Okay. All right. Let's rotate this again. Birthday Pikachu, 130. Here's Bulbasaur. This really nice Metagross, actually. He's cool. Here's Geodude. Geodude 10. And like that target. This card needs to be sent off to eBay. I'm sure of it. And we have a method for doing that now. Can you pay a slab off over time? Yeah, we do that. It's called slab away. There's a little bit of rules to that. It's not too complicated though. It's really simple. You get 6 months. It costs $20 to reserve it. You have to immediately pay $20 onto the slab as well. So it's $40 to get started total. $40 to get started on any slab. Here we are. It's extremely popular. Okay. All right. All right. I'll take this, put this over here now. Got to remove this. Okay. I got the wanted poster. Do you still have the Giovanni's Magikarp in the featured channel? And if so, can I slab it away? If it's in there, I assume it's for sale. Yeah, it's most likely still in there. Oh, and here it is, Michael Barrett. Okay, cool. So we know your name now. Let's go see Michael Barrett real fast. It was a PSA 10 Pika promo from Shining Legions, and PSA 10 promo Charizard from Hidden Fates. I'm going to go check Michael Barrett. Okay. Ooh, it's got to be pretty old if it's not showing up at all. Let's try this. Michael Barrett. And I'll make sure I spell that right with 2 T's. Michael Barrett. You're not showing up in either email. Barrett. Okay, considering that you don't show up at all in either email, I'm going to suggest that these slabs were well over a year old, because it was so far back that the emails aren't even saved. The emails save as far back as like 2022 or something like that. Now I'm gonna go check. He paid me to go check for some really old slabs. I'll be right back, guys. right, I'm back. I did not find them. I did not see them there. Whew. I'm sorry, Mr. Michael. Maybe let's say you really did have slabs over there here, and they were like, you know, donated. If that was true, if you placed a new first-time order, Michael, I'd give you $20 off that. All right. Let's see. Running up and down those stairs today, man. So now we got Michael Pettiford, 10 Lost Abyss. Whew. Man. I like sprint up the stairs because I try to get back to the stream. It has been a while. Oops. Dropping these. These 3 packs here. Was the one you saw Japanese? Yeah, let me show you on stream real fast. So I'll show you on stream. Let's see, where'd it go? Here it is. So that you believe me. Here it is, Espeon. PSA 10 Espeon. 211. And here it is, right here. $100. There you go. So now you know it's real. So I can do $100 trade-in value for this one if you're trading it with the other card, okay? All right. The other card was priced at $155. So that's what we're looking for. Okay. When he put the phone on the screen, it was 100. I paused on it. What is the TCC Vintage Custom Pack? Yeah, that will have a couple vintage cards in it for fun. They're pretty popular. And those cards do not grade 10, okay? They don't grade 10. That's the thing to know about them. I might retire that pretty soon. I might change strategies. I have a whole bunch of old holographic vintage cards. What I might do with those, instead of grading them, instead of selling them in custom vintage packs, I might actually Cardconomist grade them. I might TCCG grade them. And instead of giving them a grade, just say A for authentic. So basically like a nice display for a, you know, sort of like vintage Pokemon card that would have graded like 4 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've thought about doing that with them. And if I was to do that, well, then I don't want to put them in the custom vintage packs because it's just, you know, I don't want you stuck with like leftovers or anything. All right, let me go get more Lost Abyss. Hey, what's up, Sicko Sosa? Did you guys ever consider you could just open these all day for very cheap and try to pull that Giratina, the alt art? Excuse me. All right, here we are. Okay, I got you. Well, I sent for the rest. Yeah, sucks. That sucks when it's a little more pricey than you realized. There we go. The trade difference. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 of those. Okay. Wait, did I do that right? Oh. I needed to add 7, not total 7. All right, there we have it. Michael Pettiford. I'm doing good. Just waiting to start work for another trucking company soon. Nice, dude. Another trucking company. Cool. I hear the guys who transport, like, the fuel, gasoline, those truck drivers, I hear, they make, like, $200,000 a year. Is that accurate? Did you guys ever hear about that? The guys who deliver fuel to gas stations get paid huge amounts of money to do that job. Ooh, Aerodactyl. First of all, because they pick like the best of the best truck drivers. Second, because it's way more intensive training. And third, because it's kind of a dangerous and high responsibility job. There you go. hazard pay. Yeah, exactly. It's hazard pay. Because if that gas blows up, it's you're toast. There we go. About $48 an hour plus time and a half. Woo! That's good money. Yeah, let me look it up. I'm curious. How much money do the truck drivers who drive the fuel around make annual? Lots of idiots on the road. Oh, yeah. Crazy people, really. You kind of put your lives in the hands of just crazy people. These are called fuel haulers or hazmat tanker drivers, typically earn more than average truck drivers. It says here, you have to have your CDL, tanker endorsement, hazmat endorsement, TWIC card, and clean driving record. And it says here they get paid between $90,000 and $120,000. Oh, that's not as much as I thought. I thought it was like $200,000. Maybe it's like it depends on where, what state. There we go. All right. Still, that's 6 figures, right? For driving a truck. That's not bad. 6 figures. A software engineer, you know. That's good money. $120,000. You can raise a family on that money. And then your family will be like, our dad blew up. Our dad blew up in a hazmat explosion. Oof. That's dark. All right. Shouldn't laugh about that. Just got on a stream. Are you packing yourself and are you worried about the company trying to steal stuff when you're not paying attention? Oh, yeah. So that is something Karis and I have talked a lot about. We don't really know what to think about it. One day when we do move, which could be in like 6 months, it could be a while from now, because we haven't really made our minds up exactly where to go. We haven't bought a house. We haven't even sold the houses over here yet, but we're working on that. One day when we move, we're going to have to hire a team to help us move, and they'll be moving some pretty pricey stuff. I mean, we're just assuming that they won't steal it, basically. We could try to hide some of it. The most valuable stuff goes directly with me, so they won't have access to that. So we're talking like the Charizard collection's coming with me in my car. But they'll have plenty of inventory, probably a lot of money. And we think we might hide some of it by packing some of it up into other boxes so they can't really detect what it is. That's probably going to be the strategy. All right. You should do a late fee for the bags and slabs to be fair ways to make more money. Nah, we don't do that. No. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So, Michael Pettiford's done. Thank you, Michael, for the order. Next up, we've got Jack Wood. What's this? Garrett sent $25 for a TCC Vintage Pack. I accidentally clicked on Garrett. All right, Garrett, you're going next. This is Garrett R22. All right, there were only a couple packs of this left. You're supposed to get a random one. I don't know. I don't know the difference between the other of them, so let's just give you that one. 3 packs left after that. Somebody's hair. I don't even know if that's my hair. That might be the guy who sold it to me. Here's Trico, Abra, and holographic Eevee. So you got Eevee from Unseen Forces. Lovely. And there's Abra, and there's Trico, and there's Rhyhorn. That's actually an e-reader card. Look at that, e-reader. It's pretty cool. All right, so that is an example of a vintage pack. This one's going to be holographic Eevee. Very nice, from Unseen Forces. Okay. Money doesn't make good people. Just put newspaper on all of them. Makes them think you have junk. Yeah, I don't know. That might not work. All right, Garrett with the G. It's not a bad idea, though. Newspaper is pretty cheap. I think what we could do is just get some big boxes and load a lot of it into big boxes, and then they just won't know what they're moving. Simple, you know? They'll be like, dang, this is heavy, but they just won't know that it's like Pokemon cards. So I think that's probably going to be it. Oh, the other thing we're going to do, put some Apple tags. We're going to put some whatever they're called, the tracking devices. So we're going to put some tracking devices. So our goal is to get some big boxes, put the cards inside, some tracking devices inside the boxes, and then on its way. Just a little precaution. And so if they start going where they're not supposed to, we'll actually know right away that something's wrong. Air tags. Yeah, air tags. We're going to do air tags. That'll help us make sure that nothing funny's going on. But and then we're not going to disclose what they're moving to them. We're not going to tell them, yeah, this is our $1 million of Pokemon card inventory you're moving. So that should work. That should do it. Here's Lightning. Oh, Lightning. Look at that Lightning. That's from Tammy. $425. Cheap and affordable. Somebody joined the Call of Legends. It's now 4 out of 10. We need 6 more people in here to finish this vintage pack break. This one's been kind of taking a long time. Here's Zaxtex Integrated Combat Wing Naka. What? And here is Umbreon. Lovely. So we're letting these rotate a few times. So that's done for Garrett. Now back to Jack Woodworth. Slab away for Giovanni's Magikarp First Edition. Right, you just mentioned that. Okay, so here's the featured box. It's getting kind of heavy, actually. He says, the Giovanni's Magikarp, huh? Ah, yep. $250 for that, and that's probably underpriced because our slab is the latest certification number. This is why vintage packs are so expensive, everyone. If one common card can fetch a price of $250, what does that say about the value of a vintage pack? You know? Here you go, Jack. Good card, by the way. I like Magikarps myself. All right, Jack Woodworth. Okay. Sold my elliptical machine today. That felt pretty good. I bought an elliptical exercise machine, and I hated it. What was I thinking? Why did I buy that? Hated it. Hated it. Don't buy exercise equipment, guys. Sucks. Here we are. I don't know why I bought it. I bought it so I could lose money on it later. All right. This shall say June 25. Jack Woodworth. Jim First Magikarp. And it costs $250. And you sent in 20, so 230 remains. There it goes. You sent in 40, but 20 gets applied. Thank you. Do you have any Gray Hat Pikachu 10s? If so, how much are you willing to sell them for? I don't have any for sale right now. Here's the problem with cards like Gray Felt Hat Pikachu. There's virtually no way for me to make any money selling it. So I just sit on it. So the way it works is, let's say I sell it for $800 or whatever it costs. It's gone, $800 is in my hand. Now I want to restock that Gray Felt Hat Pikachu. How do I restock it? Well, I have to go buy it again. And it sells for $800, and I pay all these stupid taxes. So I'm just stuck making $0. Now, if I bought him when he was cheap, and then I'm selling him when he's like high, I made money on him because the price appreciated. Or if I spent $800 acquiring raw Pikachus, and then one of them happened to grade 10 again, I make money doing the work of grading and taking a risk on grading. However, I've done this a long time. Some cards are harder to grade than others, and they're so expensive, your risks are quite high. So I could sell him and try to grade more, but I feel like better off just holding him and letting him get older. The price appreciation method is probably one of the safer methods. I could turn him into a break. I could add a margin to him, like let's say 25% margin or something like that, turn him into a break that way. But this is the reason why the table is not full of Gray Felt Hat Pikachu, Crown Pikachu, 151 Charizard alt. That's why the table is not full of all those things, because there's very little way to make money on them without taking huge grading risks that don't turn out well, because I've tested them a lot of times. Huge grading risks, or some other trick. There has to be some trick basically involved. Yeah, so if you go to your local card shop, you're just not running into Gray Felt Hat Pikachus. Now, the ones you run into on eBay, those are previous collectors, owners, or people who did gamble on the grading, and they happen to win, and now they're giving up their win. That's what they're doing. So that's why that market exists. It's a fascinating thing. Sends in for backstory and 3 more packs of Lost Abyss. Sounds good. Now I know why you can't be a vendor at a card show, laughing face. You would never sell your cards with that mentality. You know, I watched a video today, actually. It was a guy who was complaining that the vendors at the card show ask for like 60 or 65% trade-in value. And he was making like a skit that was making fun of those vendors. And all I could think is like, you're very familiar with being on one side of the equation. It's an exchange between two people, ultimately, the vendor and the customer. And it's an exchange over values. It's a sort of negotiation. And most people never really stand on the vendor's side. The customers are very used to being customers. They're very rarely are they ever really a vendor. And what you experience as a vendor is you're standing over there, and what you're really doing is you're clocked into work. So you'd like to have a paycheck. Everyone wants a paycheck. Like if you were clocked into your job, well, you wouldn't do your job for free. That would be insane. That would be like freaking insane if you worked for free. So you want some sort of paycheck. So there has to be some sort of system in place where you get a paycheck that is worth your time to be a vendor, rather than, let's say, like a software engineer or some other job. And so you stand behind the counter, and all these people come up to you, and they're expecting you to basically like lose money or break even. That's their expectation as a customer. What's the motivation? They have no incentive to work for you at that point. So let's say you've got PSA 9 Rattata, and you got like 100 of them, and you want to trade it for this guy's PSA 10 Charizard. Why would he make that trade? He doesn't want to sell you Rattata. Rattata is terrible. It just takes a lot of work to sell it. Nobody wants it. But there's so many customers that have those Rattatas. They always want your Charizard. So all day long, you're like this filter, actually. All these people come through. You're like a filter. And you meet all these guys, and they're like, "You're so greedy. You won't trade my Rattata for your Charizard unless you get a 60% cut on the Rattata. You're a greedy asshole." And so all day long, you get these people who are pissed off at you. They're mad at you, and they want to make these terrible trades with you. You get it all day long. And so that's it. That's the experience of being a card vendor. Now, you could just close your shop up and go do something else. You just go get a job being a hazmat truck driver and then blow up in an explosion. And then your children are like, "Our daddy died in an explosion." So, it's like a whole, incentive system. You have to think about what the vendor is experiencing. Why did almost all vendors have the same rules? They almost all have the same rules about trade-ins and stuff like that. Do you think that's just because they're all greedy, or do you think it's actually a recurring pattern because there's like a reason for it? There's a reason for why they would do that. And everything's a little bit greedy, right? Everyone wants to make some money. Everyone wants to buy a nice car. Everyone wants to buy a nice house. People want to be able to buy some stocks at the end of the day. But it's like you go in there expecting them to service you and do this sort of job for you. And you're like, "Well, I'm going to trade up. I'm going to trade up." Because everyone who wants to do a trade always wants to trade up. They don't go to a vendor hoping to trade down. You lose the game if you trade down. So the vendor has this experience. All these people come through. Trade down, trade down, trade down. Come on, trade down. Please, will you just trade down? Hey, yesterday's price was this. Will you trade down? Trade down. You should trade down. So that's your experience as a vendor. And then you hear them complain about it too. They go, "Oh man, this guy just wants to trade up." Freaking vendors, dude. It's like, well, yeah, that's what a vendor does. Peter Fenelty, rest of the EV trade. You got it, Mr. Peter. So, but that's the experience. And it's just how it is. You could just get rid of all the card conventions. There could be a single vendor. Could be eBay. eBay could be the one vendor to rule them all. So you can just do everything on eBay. You sell your card on eBay, and then you go buy a card off of eBay, and eBay always takes a 13% cut, so you could do it that way. But, people like going to the card shops. They like going to the card shows. It's a fun thing. All right, so in this trade, we have Chris Abruzzo involved. Give me a moment here. Let's see, Chris. We could all sit in our homes and be sad. Oh, he needs a card. Anyways, I wanted to try to share that perspective, because there's two people involved. There's the customer's experience, but the vendors are real people. They're not just pirates and scum and sharks. There we go. Like, where did you get your money? Well, you work for some company that overcharges its customers so that there's this thing called a profit. And the profit is split up between the workers. So you do it too. You're not as involved if you're just the worker. But your boss, he has it all set up so that, let's say you're like a power washing company. The cost of the power wash is $50. That's their supply cost. But then the customer pays $200 for the power washing, so that there's a $150 profit. And then the boss gives you some of that money, and he takes some of that money too. So that's the whole world is working that way. It's called capitalism. All right, so let's do a little bit of math here. Here it is, $113. Is your job stressful? Not always. It can be, especially when things go wrong. When things go wrong, it can be very, very stressful. When something goes wrong, that is humongous amounts of stress. And one thing that you really have to do is you have to have money just laying around in case something goes wrong. So that's kind of how it works on a card shop. Because when something goes wrong, it can go wrong to the tune of like $5,000. So you just have to have that kind of money laying around, waiting for it to go bad. Okay, here you go, Mr. Peter. We're going to peel this out real fast. That's my job. I power wash for a living. So cool. Yeah, and if you make enough of, your boss shares the profit with you. If you save up those profits very steadily, you can go get a website, buy some trucks, buy some branding and logos, put that website up on Google, and buy some power washers and work for yourself. And then, you know the cost of everything, and whatever that costs you, you charge the customer that plus more, and that's your profit. And that's the whole reason you go out and you do it. The only reason you exist is because you say, I'd like to profit. I'd like to make money doing something that I specialize in, and you get to enjoy having your house look nice, or your boat, or whatever it is you power wash. There you go. But that's the whole world. The whole world's working that way right now. There it is. And sometimes the business side is too greedy. Okay, and this becomes mine. Okay, here we go. Sometimes the business side of all that is too greedy. They expect margins that are too high, or the service is a low quality. Like, let's say the power washing is a low quality power washing. So that's when you complain and you say, oh, these vendors, man, they suck. They ask too much. Too much. They should be paid less for what they're doing. They're earning too much. They should be paid less. Now, if you really feel that way, sometimes that's a signal to go into that business, by the way. Like, let's say I learned this in macroeconomics. So let's say you're a cookie company and your profit margins are like 200%. It's just some crazy high profit margin. Well, what happens in a capitalist society, everyone else notices that you're making 200% profit selling your cookies. And then what do you get? Like 100 copycats. And each copycat says, well, he makes 200% profit margin, but I'm actually willing to make 100%. And the next guy says, well, I'm willing to make 50% margin, not that much. The next guy comes in, he does another cookie shop. He says, I'll take 25% margin. That's pretty small at that point, not a lot of margin. And then once it goes below 25, fewer and fewer people really want to open a cookie shop. They say, I don't want to open a cookie shop. You don't make any money. And that's when the business stops expanding at that point. So that's what kind of creates a profit margin. That's what creates pricing. There's a point where the profits are so thin that nobody else wants to get into that industry anymore. And only the people who are really passionate about it stay in and keep working. So people who are real passionate, they get paid less, and it's a labor of love, and they're not getting rich quick anymore. But at the same time, you have limited options where you can go anymore. That's it. And so, think about which industries are overpaid. If they're overpaid, that should be the industry that you go work in. Here, grab this. All right. Is that Espeon done? Here it is. Espeon's turning into a new break. Okay, you ready? You ready? Pool Shock and Dawn dish soap. Make it stick to the walls. Pool Shock has sodium hypochlorite. What? So this is going to be a new break. I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Hello, sir. I received a PSA 10 Dialga level X DP17 in recent grading submission is Pop 6. What kind of value do you think it has? A level X, is it simply a holo? It could be worth a lot, even if it's just a holo. So you're probably asking because a part of you feels like you just got something really good. If it's a very pretty card, you're right. Your card's probably worth a lot, actually. I just traded up on a Gray Hat Pikachu PSA 10 for $8.50 at PokeFest at OKC just recently. Nice, dude. Nice, dude. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people would like to do. They kind of go there looking for some sort of deal, looking to take their card that's worth, let's say 100, and they come out of there with 150 if they're lucky. So a lot of people who want to do trades, it's almost like a sport for them. But you have to understand the vendors know this, and the vendors aren't looking to trade down either because they're playing the same sport, you know what I'm saying? So it becomes sort of like this clash, and then vendors create a simple rule. We only do 70% trade-in, and that rule that they use makes sure that they always win. So it's just like that. Imagine if you as a customer went up and say, I only trade, you can trade my card for full value, but I only buy your card at 70%. It just wouldn't work. And so that's what it is. The vendors are looking to make money. That's why they exist at the card convention. Without that profit incentive, the card convention wouldn't exist. You wouldn't have a card convention. It would disappear. All right. Enough talking, though. I'm yapping a lot. Okay, we have a half moon break. Here's a sun break. Read my last message, Mr. About a vendor, says Mr. Omar. So he says, I had a guy who wanted 180 for a near mint Umbreon card when it was 130 on TCG. He was like, bro, I got to cover vendor fees. And he would not budge. So I just said, I'm good, and walked away. A guy who wanted 180 for a near mint Umbreon when it was 130 on TCG. He was like, bro, I got to cover vendor fees. And he would not budge. So was he the vendor? Yeah, so if you think about it, if the vendor is at a convention, he actually pays a fee, kind of like the way you pay eBay. He pays a fee to be there. So he paid money for the table. And so he's saying, I'm here to sell cards. Not only do I have to make a cut, but the convention center has to make a cut too. So all of that plays a role in the pricing of goods. Here's Mr. Omar Batui, 10 Lost Abyss. Mr. Omar. He was the seller. Here it is. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm surprised he was willing to sell it to you. Oh, I misread it. He wanted $50 over the TCG price. I see. I get it now. He wanted $50 over the TCG price. Well, if it's an ungraded card, if the card is not graded, I kind of get it. Maybe he felt like his particular card was going to grade like 9 or something like that. And so as a result, maybe he has like a perceived value of the card based off of what he thinks is going to grade. I think that kind of stuff happens, you know. And if it's Umbreon too, he's saying, I'm not giving this up because you're just going to grade it and flip it into 180 in like 2 seconds. But what he should do, though, is he should go grade it. But, you know, selling cards is kind of like fishing. You show people what you got, and you see if there's any takers. You see if there's any bites. And if there are no bites, you can cheapen the price. You know, you post it on eBay, whatever it is you're going to do. Here it is. All right. But here's my bet is, because I've experienced this with Umbreon as well. There are some cards you can't get rid of, like this Aggron. He's a cool Pokemon. Look at him. He's a cool Pokemon, steel type, nice looking. No one's going to buy it for a long time. But if I had an Umbreon on the table, which I don't, he would sell much faster. Well, we got this Umbreon over here, but he's Korean Umbreon, right? So if you got, like, let's say a highly collectible Umbreon, he's gone in an instant. And then how's that guy supposed to restock that Umbreon? There's no way. The only way for him to restock it would be to go to TCG Player and buy it again for 130. So this is the trouble. I think I was explaining it earlier with the Gray Felt Hat Pikachu. You sell one of the most desirable cards in the hobby, and now how do you reacquire it? There's no easy way to reacquire it. So I feel like eBay is a great place to go acquire those super high-end cards. You know, the ones that there's no deals at all on them to be made. There's zero deals. Nobody's looking to sell their top card under price, and so there's just no fun to be had in that way. Vendors don't have a system to acquire it. Here it is. Very nice. It wasn't a 10. He was just marking his stuff up. Here it is. Very nice. He might have more experience than you. For example, let's say you walked away. You're like, I'm never going to buy that. You know what's funny is the next guy might just walk up and buy it and not ask about the price. He might not check TCG Player. So that's what you have to understand. So he might, as a vendor, he might sit there all day long testing what sells and what doesn't sell. And he might have noticed that if he takes a really nice looking Umbreon and he puts it in the front, and let's say he's $50 over the TCG Player price. So it's like, whoa, that's too high. Why don't you just buy it on TCG Player? But let's say he marks it up. Somebody just walks by and is like, I'll take it anyways. I don't care. He might have had that experience at that table multiple times. And so he's realized there's this sort of premium people will pay at a card convention on certain cards. Think of it like when you go to the movie theaters and they sell you like a $12 box of popcorn for what's essentially $1 of popcorn. So he's realized that convention centers have this ability to oversell cards to people who are just looking to have a good time. They got plenty of money in their pocket. $180 is nothing to them. In other words, you're not the target customer. You're not who he's trying to sell to. You're somebody who's coming in there looking for a deal. And he's there saying, I'm looking to sell for a premium, like the movie theater popcorn. So that's what's going on in that case. Michael Pettiford says, for bag sort and 3 packs of Lost Abyss. You got it, 3 packs of Lost Abyss. So run on the Lost Abyss. It is the holo. I believe it's a beautiful card. I can't find any for sale or any sold. What I would do then, Mr. Brett, is I would try to research the card in the same set. So look for similar looking cards in the same set that have, you know, like comparable beauty, which is subjective. And then also search for other card, like, so if you got Dialga or something, look for other Dialgas of a similar like time period. Okay, do that as well. So broaden your search to include other cards instead of exact copies. I think if you want to charge above market, don't use the booth fee as an excuse. Just say it the way it is. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what he could have said. He could have said, this card will be sold in an afternoon here at this card convention because Umbreons sell like that, bro. And he says, hey, it's so cheap on TCG Player, you should go buy that one. But, you know, and here's another way that people might actually prefer card vendors in person. Because when you buy on the TCG Player, you don't really know the condition of the card. It's not in your hand. You can't see it. And so he packs all his stuff up. He drives to the convention. He purchases a table. He takes a risk on that table. You know, he could lose money. If nobody buys his crap, he could lose money being there. So he takes a risk. That's a business risk. He's clocked into work. He's there. He's working. He would like to get paid enough to have dinner that night. Right. How much is out to eat dinner these days? It's like $40 or something. 40 is cheap, by the way, for some places. Depends on what city you're in and where you're eating. But he wants to have a nice dinner. He's got to pay a mortgage. He's got to pay his car. You know, mortgage is insane. Car's insane. You got to have insurance. Insurance is insane. It's all crazy now. You know what I mean? It's really crazy. So he's there. He's clocked in. He's working. He needs to make a profit in order to be there, or else he just shouldn't be there. And and he's got this Umbreon, and you're a shrewd shopper. You're looking for a deal, and you're like, I want to buy this, but I won't pay over the TCG Player price. And he's saying, I'm here. I brought this here. You can actually hold it in your hand. You can see the condition of it. It's got to be higher than TCG Player price. So that's how it is. Now, what you can do is you can walk away, and if no one will buy that Umbreon, he will lower the price. He will. But it's Umbreon. I guarantee you he sold that card that day. He sold that card that day, unless it was a crappy, you know, unless it was like this dead convention center, nobody there. If there was a very good crowd there, it's sold. It's sold to somebody who does not care. Or they understand that he wants to make money and they're like, here, have some money. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you that card probably sold. I can't keep any of my Umbreons. There's no good Umbreons up here. I can't keep them. Every time I put them up there, I can put a red label price tag on the Umbreon. Gone. Just doesn't matter. People just want Umbreon like crazy. And no, they don't like buying stuff off a TCG Player. TCG Player is hugely risky. Okay, here's Michael Pettiford. TCG Player sucks because they can claim it's mint on TCG Player and then send you like a card that's going to grade like 7, dude. And they're going to be like, yeah, a 7's a mint. That's mint, bro. So people don't actually prefer to shop on TCG Player. They prefer the convention where they can pick it up and check for themselves. All right, let's see. You got a cute little AR here. That's Greta Thunberg. Here's and he knows that, and he knows he can charge a higher price as a result of that. And he wants to pay for, you know, his cost of living. He wants to make a little money. If it's too high, it's too high. You were right when you walked away from him. The thing is, I wouldn't be mad at them for it. That's the only thing I'd say. Don't let yourself be mad over it. Just accept that that's the way the game is played. It's like a video game. Just be like, well, I think this one's too dear. And then just walk away and everything's good, you know what I'm saying? But don't hold like a grudge against the guy. He'll lower his price if no one wants it, he'll lower. But he's testing the waters first. And again, he might have a lot of data that suggests actually it will sell at this price. He might have looked it over. He might know that it's in really great condition, that particular copy. And he's like, and he might know that everyone's just wildly buying Umbreons and he can't keep them in stock and there's no way to restock them once they're all sold. So he's like, wait a second, that's the good one. I need to keep that one here. When people hear all this stuff, I feel like they begin to kind of understand it's a whole thing, you know. It's not like just angry guys twisting their handlebar mustaches. You know, it's not like that. There's a more simple explanation to it all. Yeah, I got him. There's a sucker born every minute. Ooh, look at that. That's a good one right there. Wow. There we go. There's probably guys who are too greedy. There's guys who are too sharky. You know what I'm saying? They're too sharky. But if they're too sharky, maybe they get less sales. You know, there could also be guys who are too generous and they make way less than they could have if they were just better at running their business and they don't understand, you know, how to run and operate a business. Like there's a guy out here, he runs a gaming group and he got so many people in there, but he doesn't monetize any of it. And so he doesn't make any money. And so as a result, he works at Walmart to implement his, supplement his income. And I'm thinking to myself, you've got everyone at your game shop. Why don't you just like sell food or something? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you sell something to these people? They want to buy stuff. They want to support you. And you won't let them because you're so committed to this not-for-profit sort of like title or idea in your head. And it's like, bro, you should just be for profit. You work for Walmart and Walmart is a for-profit company. Yeah, it's really weird. I've told that story before. There's a guy out here, he started a gaming group out here in a business gaming group, and it's a not-for-profit. And he has so much potential to turn that into a full-time job where he runs it all the time and makes money off of it. But instead, he won't sell anything. And so he has to work at Walmart. And it's like, bro, just make money. And then you can expand and offer your services to more people. People want to have something to do in the afternoon. They want to spend some money, you know. Here's the dolphin. Spide Ops, I like that one a lot. So you got some lovely ARs here, Mr. Michael Pettiford, but your top pull is clearly this guy. Really nice. You should definitely grade that one. I would look into grading some of your better looking ARs. Like I like this Scissor a lot. I think he's cool. Here's the Gloom. The Nine Tails is nice. Houndour's not bad. I don't know how well this guy does. There's a Cleffa. This guy might do well too. He's a Japanese card. Very good. Okay. Let's see. Some cards you got to pay a premium for. I had to do that for a Clean Southern Islands Mew. Yeah, exactly. So like if they've got their looking glass out and they can see that their card in particular is especially good, they don't feel like they're in competition with TCG Player, because they're going to say, well, if you like the TCG Player mint version so much for this classic vintage card, go buy it there and get ripped off. Because that guy's going to send you a PSA 7. That's going to be what you're going to get. You're going to get a mint Umbreon. And he's like, you can see mine right in front of you, and you can see how good it is. So mine's actually quite nice. And so I'm going to ask for a more competitive Sharky price. But yeah, vendors get too Sharky sometimes, and when they're too Sharky, they don't make any money, I'm sure. This is taught in micro and macroeconomics. It's called the supply and demand equilibrium, where you need to lower your prices until there's like this optimal sell-through rate. But if you lower it too low, then you're no longer optimal. And so there's this equilibrium you're looking for, optimized price, where it's like you get the price as high as you can without lowering the demand, just like that. Hard to do that. Businesses that do that really well, they get rich. There you go. For example, you can sell your Oreo cookies for $400 a box, or you can sell them for a penny per box. If you sell them for a penny, you go out of business. If you sell them for $400, you go out of business. So there's some price in the middle between a penny and $400. That's the correct price. All right, there we go. Is Topps first movie sold out? It sure is. That one sold out so fast, and I have not found a way to restock it. There it goes. There we go. That's a killer wicked witch laugh. My pities. Thank you, Michael. All right. Oops. Now what do we got? We've got Luke Laurie, 2 Family Guy Star Wars. Okay, 2 Family Guy Star Wars. Here they are. 1 Nintendo game pack. 1 Nintendo game pack. And 1 battle partner. 1 battle partner. Okay. Very nice. Buy all the Oreos and sell for triple. Can you ship out my hits? Everything else can I give away? We can absolutely do that. You just send in for a round for shipping and we'll get that all set up for you, okay? All right, you ready? You want only the hits, huh? I mean, if we're going to do it that way, I'd probably put a couple more cards into your hit bag before it ships out. Make sure you don't lose any serious value on anything. Usually the hits bag is just like the stuff that I might consider grading. But that doesn't mean those other cards had no value at all. Here's Double Dragon. I sent in for a round of shipping. Nice, dude. buy all the Oreos and sell for triple price. Yeah, bro, I'm going to be so rich, bro. Bro, you just buy Pokemon and sell it and it gets you rich, bro. Here it is. Yeah, until prices peak and people say those are too high, demand slows, and there's too much competition. And then the price will fix itself, see? So it's sort of like, they have a term for it. It's called the invisible hand of the market. And so if it looks like there's all these greedy vendors and there's too much scalping, bada, yeah. What it really means is that demand for Pokemon's insane. People really, really want this product. And the people who jumped in to buy some and sell it later were the ones who saw the opportunity. They predicted that this was the product that everyone wanted. It's like if you were able to predict that gold was going to be desirable before everyone else was buying gold. And so it's almost like a force of nature. Like you can't just stop it with wishful thinking or being jealous or being like pissed off at the scalpers. You can't fix it that way. Here it is. It's a phenomenon that will occur forever. It's occurring right now as we speak. Peter Griffin. Nice. Here's a holo. It's occurring as we speak. Ooh, this was a good pack. Look at this. So like another great example of scalping. The best land. You want to live in the nicest places? You better rush and go buy it right now. Because if you don't, those are going to double in price in 5 years. Right? Like Malibu Beach in California. If only I knew to buy Malibu beachfront property 20 years ago. I could have gotten it for a penny, dude. But you just didn't know. And now somebody else owns it. And they'll sell it to you at the scalper price. So that's how it is in this world. And you can complain about it as much as you'd like. You can talk about how wicked and evil and greedy and how envious you are and how annoying it is and how, oh, we should take it down and revolution and whatever you want. But it's like this force of nature. It's never going away. It's always going to exist. It's always going to be that way. Here's Luke Laurie. So while you're busy talking about how no one deserves to have Malibu beachfront property, you should at the same time be working on positioning yourself in a similar fashion. Because you should, in my opinion, it is smart to accept the reality of it. Okay, that's for Luke Laurie. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so Trump making the Democrats scream. That's a wicked witch laughed. Mister's Top's first movie sold out. I sent in for a round of shipping. Fade the short-term trend. There you go. If only you could buy Pokemon, if you could short the Pokemon market. Okay, now we have our good friend, Mr. William Wafter. He says, 1 pack of Soldier's Return, please. You've got it. Soldier's Return. Where are you going to finish? Where are you going to get English OP11? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of One Piece English sets right now. This, Lucario. The sell-through rate on One Piece feels like it's slowing down quite a lot. I might actually just do manga breaks in the future. I'm tempted to just do that. Aha, Poliwrath. Okay. Hey, mister, they found my package in St. Louis after I called, seeing someone missed a scan. Alicia, all of them updated. Yeah, they all updated to say St. Louis. I'm so relieved. Even the Dylan Chan package, where they didn't even say that it got scanned at my front porch. In other words, it looked like the label never even got used at all. Even that one updated to say it was in St. Louis. So today was a learning experience for me that said even a package that claims USPS never picked it up at all can say that it got picked up. And I'm glad you called, because I'm tempted to call them and say, you guys just can't do that. You have to scan it. These packages have too much stuff in them. You can't be this way where we're scratching our heads wondering where the hell, did we even ship it? We can't have that. So I don't know, post officer guy not doing his job, not scanning stuff. They're apparently scannable, because if they weren't scannable, they would say that. They're scannable. They just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. And so as a result, we're all twisting our hands. Also, what's up with how long it took for it to arrive just to St. Louis? It took like over a week for it to arrive at St. Louis. So something's going wrong at our post office. I don't know what it is, but hopefully maybe they had a lot of call-offs. Maybe they had a shortage of staff. Maybe there's too much demand. I don't know. But so I would bet those things go hand in hand. If they don't have enough staff, then they're probably not bothering to scan labels. They're like, oh, we're overloaded. I don't have time for this. Here's Garrett. He wants Korean Starbirth. 30 of them. You got it. Starbirth. They're probably going, I don't got time to scan these stupid labels. Just toss them in the truck. I straight said the package was a collectible item with high value. They then set up the inquiry to the post office. Oh, thanks, Alicia. Appreciate that. But, you know, it actually updated last night, by the way. That's when it updated. All right, here it is. Very nice. It updated after I called them. They caught some workers getting jiggy and had to let them go. Now they're short-staffed. What? You never know. All right. They stopped trying to sell our cards on eBay and what's not. Yeah, Dylan Chan, isn't that nice? Oh, I'm relieved, dude. Your package had me scared, man. Yours had me scared. You are? All right. Yours scared me because it didn't even say it got taken from the post office at all. That usually implies Alexis never packaged it. She never got the label. I never took it to the mailman. So that's what that implies. I'm like, well, that would be a huge fail if we didn't do that. Something's terribly wrong with our system. You know, our system of working, our work process, our workflow. No, it was the mailman. Freaking USPS, dude. Pretty unacceptable. Here we are. Hoping the package comes untampered. I'm sure they're all untampered. They're probably, you know what it was? They're probably just sitting on some pallet at USPS, and they probably just didn't want to do it. The fact that they were all delayed together, that's pretty telling. They were all delayed together. Here it is. All right. People out here in Lake of the Ozarks don't even know what Pokemon is. It's a bunch of 100-year-olds. There it is. All right, Mr. Garrett. I've been to the post office. It's all ran by Grandma. 100%. No young people there at all. Here's Flygon. Okay. Here's some cold ones. We got, this gentleman. Cold. Lucario. Oh, cold. We got Raichu. This is for our friend Garrett. He ordered 30 packs. That's a whole box of Star Birth. Thanks, man. Keeping us busy. We had a fun conversation today about vendors and how they're motivated or not motivated to go out there and create sort of like a card show. And I think it's a fun conversation to have. I think one of the questions people could ask themselves is like, how much should a vendor earn? You know, what should the income of a vendor be? Here it is. Ooh. But I don't think there's a lot of sympathy, empathy. Oh! Garrett, what a pull, man. You guys got to do these Korean cards sometimes because he opened this whole box for $45. You know that's why the Korean cards are on the menu, right? Because even though it's in a different language, it's like so affordable. That looks great, dude. Wow, that's fantastic. Wow, man. That's beautiful. All right, I'll set that there. Okay. You guys got to try some of these sometime. You know, the Korean cards, they don't sell for as much as the English ones, but here's the funny thing. They do sell. Like, if this was PSA 10 on the table right now, somebody would be looking at it. And, yeah, Honch Crow here is probably not going to sell. Like, there was this guy over here. See that Umbreon in the corner? Stexkowski Umbreon? He's just a standard Umbreon. He's not going to sell very fast. But, like, Moonbreon, we did a break on the Moonbreon. Remember? We did a break on Korean Moonbreon just recently. Boom, gone. So, the Korean cards do sell. And especially the alt-art chase cards. They will accept it at the lower price and just have, you know, the Korean version in their collection. And it's not a big deal. I actually really like the Thai language version. I think Thai language is very beautiful. It is. I can't read it, but I think the letters look really pretty. Almost like Elven or something. Elvish. Went fast. Yeah, it went fast too. Should give you some confidence in the Korean cards. And so, and don't forget, South Korea probably actually just straight up collects them because it's their language and they're not going anywhere, I don't think. Unless Kim Jong-un gets kind of hungry and angry. Hangry. All right. Hangul is clean AF. It updated after I called him. Mine says it's coming Saturday. Sue him for sure. No, I don't like that, man. I don't like that it was like that. They were definitely taking their sweet time, and that's not right. I'd probably give them most of their business. It's a rural. This is not a large post office. The exact city I live in. Let me give you the population of the city I live in. The population of Camdenton, Missouri is 4,000 people. So I live in a city of 4,000 people. I mean, there's counties in like California with 1 million people in it. So yeah, we're spread pretty thin, and our post office is like considered a rural post office. It really is just ran by a couple grandmas. That's it. It's just a couple grandmas. They don't even know what Pokemon is. So they probably got a bunch of packages from me, and just maybe they had some call-offs or something. Who knows, you know? Ice, get them. Mine was shipped May 31st, says it will be delivered the 14th. Ridiculous. Yeah, that is ridiculous. But again, that's really on them, and so all I can do is apologize. And yeah, we could use UPS and FedEx, but you know they cost more. They cost more, and I actually have to do UPS and FedEx. We would have to begin a pickup, so we'd actually have to hire them to come over here to pick it up. I think we could do UPS if we wanted. There's a UPS sorting facility that's like 15 minutes down the road from me, so we know UPS would probably be another reliable system if we wanted to use it. My city is pop 102,000. Yeah, city of Camdenton, Missouri, 4,000. And then we're about 35 minutes away from the other big city out here, Osage Beach. Osage Beach population, you ready? Okay, so the city of Osage Beach is 4,800 people. That's about 35 minutes from here. So that's the two big cities in Lake of the Ozark, Osage and Camdenton. I live in Camdenton. So there's about a total of 9,000 people that live on the lake. Now, if you count the whole counties around us, then the amount goes up a little more. The counties, those would be the people living on farms, literally, because they're not here in the lake. But if you were to count the counties, that number goes up a little more. So, yeah, but those are all like, you know, well, shucks. There's a bunch of those people. Yep. That's why we need to move. We need to get out of here, man. It's been fun. We moved out here during COVID. There were no rules during COVID. We bought a nice lake house. We had the whole lake life thing. I'm over it. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to live right next to the post office at a big, you know, central shipping hub so that we can get the Pokemon cards on time on release date. We should have had black and white on Saturday, at least. We're getting it on Wednesday. I guarantee you, if I wasn't out here in Lake of the Ozarks, we probably have it right now. Because the Lake of the Ozarks adds almost 3 days to the delivery time. We don't have an airport. There's no airport. Every single box I receive is driven over here from a semi-truck or whatever. It takes forever. So we're going to get moved. We need to live right next to an airport, right next to a distribution hub, and get these cards faster. You know, shipping them out to you guys, that typically isn't, you know, the most important deadline. But launch day, that's huge. Missing the launch days, it's really insane if you think about it. How many sales am I missing per year because we get the cards 5 days after everyone else? I mean, yeah, it's really stupid. So I think we got to do it. I think there's some resistance to the urge to move because this is a very beautiful place to live. Very, very beautiful. So there is some resistance to it. A part of you just wants to settle down and be like, no, we're staying here. It's clean, it's safe. It's not crowded, lots of privacy. Your neighbors are like, well, shucks type of neighbors. It's slow out here, you know. There's a slowness, there's a laid backness to it. There's gorgeous hills, there's beautiful trees. We can see the state park from our back window. We have this view of the lake that's unbeatable. Have you guys seen the lake? You know, we don't use, I might be able to show you guys. You guys want to see it? Might be able to show you. I don't know. How much of this room do I want to show off? I want to keep it private a bit. Show us. All right, hold on. I'll hide the camera. I think I can hide the camera a bit. I'm trying not to give too much away these days. We're real sticky about security now. So hold on. Ugh. All right. Look at this, guys. I mean, they're right there. Look at that. See? Beautiful out here. And across from us, let me show you. That is the state park over there. I mean, you could just take your canoe or your kayak to it. That's our dock over there. It's got our 2 boats on it. There's like moss growing on our wood here. Freaking, that's why we get mushrooms. There it is. Sorry, the camera's a bit shaky. Can't help it. That big yard is ours, the extended yard. Look. That's a boat. All right, so now whew, he's after my mushrooms. There you go. So it's really, really nice out here. But the shipping obviously is not good. So, yeah, and the lack of development and nowhere to eat, nowhere to shop, you know, it gets to you, especially in the winter. Not in the summer. The summer's really nice. All right, Michael. Mr. Michael. So that's that hits bag. That's the rest of your stuff. I miss Kitty. I do too, but not really. There you go. I've always said this. I've always said I'm not much of a pet person. Maybe I'm a psychopath. I don't know. So you grab this. I don't think so. I just like cleanliness a lot. I must be like my mom or something. My mom was crazy about cleanliness. You got to keep some of this. Keep this. Is this Chinese? Yeah, keep that one. Keep that one. Okay, these are kind of junky. Oops. Nobody really cares about the rest of that. So is Florida confirmed? No, we're still talking about where to potentially move. Nothing's been chosen. We were talking about it this morning because, you know, if we could just settle on a place, it'd be very easy. But we just really are unsure. So we could move to Tennessee and have kind of like a topography that's very similar to where we're living now. So Tennessee is an option. And Tennessee has no income state tax. And then there's Florida. We were looking at Florida again. We're pretty sure if we moved to Florida, we would be moving to Naples, Florida. So we'd be moving to the south, Naples, Florida, maybe slightly inland, and we'd buy a modern home, and we'd try to waterproof everything. So that's what we'd do. We'd move to Florida. Here you go. I remember when you first moved out there. I think that was before the oldest score calls. Check out Eastern Washington, near Lake. There's Washington State. That really has been mostly ruled out because we are uncomfortable with the cold air in Washington, but maybe we should look at it. That's the thing. We rule a thing out, and then we go back and look at it anyways. So we'll look at all of it. There you go, Michael. Okay, so we put some more of this back in. I don't want to give this all away. Most of this really is just junk. Get a bag. Eastern Washington is hot, desert climate in the summer. Okay, Eastern Washington. That's an interesting thought. There you go. Washington is a no taxes state. Alaska, which is probably not a good idea. But you never know. We're open-minded. We're still researching. 2 top contenders, Summerlin, Las Vegas. That's kind of like the bougie, pricey side. We'd buy a small home in Summerlin, and it's kind of a wealthier, affluent area. we'd move there. It's got higher elevation, so it's about 4 degrees cooler. That's it, just about 4 degrees. So if it gets to 120 degrees in Las Vegas, at least for us, it would be about 115. Really good. That's an option. Las Vegas is really sticking out for us right now. We like the fact that they have a lot of card conventions. They have a lot of food. They have a lot of activities. Karis is kind of uncomfortable with the feeling that it's going to be the desert. She really likes the trees and the water. And so it's kind of the opposite of what she likes. I kind of like the desert. I like that a desert doesn't really have anything in it. I'm a kind of person who likes that. I like that it has nothing in it. No mold, no fungus, no algae. There's nothing. It's just dry. So that actually kind of appeals to me. Okay. Mr. Michael. Florida appeals to both of us, by the way. We both like Florida, but not the hurricanes. Doesn't really make sense to have a lot of cards and then get hit by a hurricane. That would be pretty bad. Okay, we just reset our shipping software real fast. And now let's turn this music back on. Maryland, East Coast living? I live in Maryland. It sucks. When the move is official, are you going to ask everyone to ship? You should, but I'm not going to require it. So we'll just transport your stuff. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and update this to say it's heavy-ish. Vegas has so many conventions, it's insane. Is Lucario Battle still on the table? Let's see. That is the Mickey Mouse Battle. It's a break, not a battle. Here it is, Lucario Break. So there it is. Mickey Mouse Break, Lucario Break. And yes, it's available. One person in here looking for another person to join. I take it that California is an obvious no-go. We've looked in California. California has some really beautiful land. Like, you guys have lakes, you have mountains, you have ocean, you just have everything. And you have like these areas that are being constructed that are so beautiful. Like, they just look really, really good. And so normally I'd be like, why don't we just move there? That looks great. But when you look at your state taxes, it's really unreasonable. California punishes you if you're successful. So how can you build wealth if you're living in California? So Karis and I have talked a lot about that, and we're talking about maybe like for the next 10 years, we live in a state where you can really build wealth. And then 10 years afterwards, we go live in a place like California to just go be retired or something. You know, but why would you want to live in a state that stops you from being able to build generational wealth? There you go. I get so much taken out of my check from state taxes. Yeah. So you're in California. Let me see. Let me ask ChatGPT. Let me see. Let's see. Let's say I moved to San Diego. I was born in San Diego on a Navy base. I'm gonna have it break down the taxes for me. I'm looking at the property taxes. Yeah, so I'm looking at just the state property taxes. It's much higher than other states, and we lose so much money just paying the property tax on our home that it would be like more than what I pay the state of Missouri for my entire income. Just doesn't make any sense. Vehicle registration, gas, sales. So the income tax in California would be about $10,000 a year higher for me, and the property taxes would be just about $10,000 higher as well. And then it estimates there'd be roughly between $1,000 and $2,000 additional other taxes from various things like registration. So I'm looking at the total taxes, and I would lose about. It looks like I would lose about $25,000 over what I already pay per year here in Missouri. That's a lot, man. Almost 25 a year. That's like $100,000 every 4 years. I mean, I don't know, dude. For the privilege of living in California, which I admit looks very nice, it has very good weather. But a lot of places have something cool about them. You know that? I really believe that too. You know, like I was looking at Utah shockingly beautiful. Have you guys seen Utah? It's ridiculous. They have pretty decent weather. They go cold in the winter, hot in the summer. But I'm used to that. I do that in Missouri. You get all the seasons. You get like snowy Christmases, for example. But they got the lake, they got the mountains, and it looks nice and clean. You can buy a nice big home. Like your price per square foot for home is pretty good in Utah. So if you spend $1.5 million for a home in California, you get this little home. You know, if you spend $1.5 million in Utah, you get this mansion. You get a mansion for the same price. And so it's like, maybe I like having snowy winters. You know what I mean? You start to ask yourself those questions, like, do I really hate it? Not so much. But yeah, and they've got this really cool mountain and all this in the background and all their homes. It's like, wow, that's cool, man. Here's Jose Arredano's spot on the Espeon 2 Nintendo game packs. You got it, man. 2 Nintendo game packs and an Espeon spot. Espionage. It is the Sunbreak. Okay. Do I have time to open more cards? What time is it? 6:29? Yeah, send an order in right now, okay? Send an order in right now. Doesn't California also have a wealth tax that's retroactive 10 years after you leave? I don't know about all that, but based off of what I just did, ChatGPT did a breakdown of my wife's income and my income filed jointly. I already know what I pay in Missouri, and I would pay almost $25,000 a year more in California over what I already pay in Missouri. And it's like, why would I do that? It's just sort of like losing $100,000 every 4 years. I can just move to some other state and potentially pay less than what I pay in Missouri. Less than what I pay in Missouri. Isn't that clever? So I would just keep even more of my own money that I'm earning. And so, yeah, it's like, it's hard to do that to yourself. It's hard to do that. And then on top of all that, I've got all these cards that are waiting to sell. Think of it like, what do they call that? There's kinetic energy, and then there's potential energy. What do they call the other one? So I've got a bunch of potential energy with these cards, and like when they sell, that's going to trigger a huge tax on my income. So if I sold my entire collection tomorrow, if I listed it all on eBay, that's going to trigger a massive tax on my income. Where do I want to be when I do that? Do I want to be in California when I do that? I want to be in California after I do that. See what I'm saying? Shouldn't be in California at that point. Should be in California after that point. Here we are. I think you're depending on ChatGPT too much. I'm not. ChatGPT is probably the most powerful thing in the world right now. It's actually, it's like mind-blowing how useful it is. It helps organize thoughts. It helps think of things you didn't think of. It helps compare information and data and convert it into something that's actually useful. It's insane. It is. It just revealed, the taxes I would pay over the taxes in California, over the taxes I'd pay in a place like Nevada. So I could do the same calculation. Like, let's see. Montana, no sales tax. Yeah, Montana's good, but they have high property taxes or something like that. I can't remember what they have. Now do Las Vegas. Okay, so I can type in now do Las Vegas, and it's going to do the same calculation for me. State income tax, Nevada, 0. So I pay a state income tax in Missouri of 5% of my entire income and Karis's income combined. And if we go to Nevada, that drops to 0 instantly. Property tax. Nevada's average property tax rate is about 0.5 to 0.75%. So let's average it out to 0.65. Let's see. It caps out to prevent huge jumps as well. So look at this. So the property tax for $1.5 million home in Las Vegas would be like $10,000 a year. So every year you lose $10,000. Nevada just takes that from you. San Diego, $18,750 for the same amount of property. So you just lose almost $9,000 for San Diego. Wow, that's a lot of money. In 10 years, that's almost $100,000. Well, and by then the money would have inflated in value too, so it's pretty much $100,000, right? Okay, so here we go. Jose Redondo, do Rhode Island. So you pay taxes when you buy a card, and then when you sell it, crazy. Yeah, of course. And when you guys buy a card, and when anything happens, when a transaction occurs, taxes are collected. When a transaction occurs, taxes are collected. We are. When I get paid, I pay a second tax. It's called income tax. So the TheCardconomist, which is a company, pays taxes on its profits. And then it takes some of those profits and it pays its worker, who is me, and then I pay a tax because that counts as income. So that's it. That's how it's working. And so the government taxes me twice, and it's really horrible. It's really unfair. And then the government taxes me because I own a home, which I think that's wrong too. I don't think that should exist either. I think the way it should work is your primary residence should be tax-free. If you're like a landlord and you own multiple homes, your first home should be rent-free. Your second home should definitely have a rent on it. I'm sorry, your second home should definitely have a tax on it. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you're a landlord, the government can tax the heck out of your building. I don't care. But if it's your primary residence, why would the government be taxing you for your primary residence? That's not a tax. That's rent. You're paying the government rent to own your own property. Like this, that's like communism or something, right? The communist China, you're not allowed to own land. You're not allowed to own it. The government owns it. You rent it from the government. We do the same thing. It's called property taxes. Everyone should rise up and demand that they end it. Shouldn't be property taxes. It's just really crazy. Sandman. Ooh. Texas, by the way, is out. We're not choosing Texas because they have one of the highest property taxes in the entire union. Did you know that? Nevada, on the other hand, has one of the lowest property taxes. And did you guys know that your house is one of your biggest investments in your portfolio? It's your home. Jose Arredondo. So why would you pick a state with high taxes on your property when you can choose a state with really low taxes on your property? So if you simply move to a place that's expected to grow really fast, park like $1 million into property, and a place with low property taxes, as long as you can just keep paying that mortgage and stay there, you're going to be rich just because you picked the right place to sit in. We are? All right. Can you put the Bulbasaur and Ivysaur coins to the side? I can do that if you put them in slab away. I don't think I can just hide them away. Like, are you going to have it tomorrow maybe? Let's see. What do you say? Are you looking to buy them tomorrow? We are. We got Charmander. We've got Shanks. We've got... Now, and then here's another part of the equation that we didn't even talk about. I eat food. I go out to eat. I love going out to eat. How much does it cost to eat in California? Here's Hunter Tipton, Lucario Gym Break. You got it. There it is. So that's part of the equation as well. So if the cost of living is higher in general in California, not only am I paying all those extra taxes, but then with the money I have left over, I have to pay for food that's more expensive because everyone there is charging more for their food because everything costs more for them too. They're like, well, I got to eat. I got to pay a mortgage. I got to buy a car. So they say, well, I need you to buy this hamburger for $15 now. It's like $15. That's a lot for a hamburger. So you move to a place like Oklahoma, right? Just some boring flyover state, right? That's what they will say is the boring flyover state. If you move to a big city, it's going to have all the same, food. It's going to have all the same major chains. It's going to have a hospital in it. It's going to have police officers. And it's going to have all the main utilities, right? But you're going to pay like some tiny fraction of the cost of living. And you're going to buy a big home and you're going to pay way less taxes. And you're going to be able to buy stocks and build up a retirement. In California, you're just going to pay rent. You're never going to afford a home. And even if you do buy a home, you're going to pay like double taxes to live in it. Like, I think that the truth is for California, even if it's a really nice place to live, and I think it is, and I think Californians should get out and try some other places too. Because when you research buying a new home, a lot of California transplants are all talking about how great their new homes are. They're like, actually, we didn't realize how fun it was out here. What I would say is, Californians say, you got to come to California. I think Californians should also take a look outward and try some new places themselves because it's like, at the end of the day, it's just land, it's just a place. It is. Oscar Ascendis pulls Rapidash. Ooh, Hunter Tipton picks up an energy card. What do we got here? Oh, he wins because of the energy card. Hunter Tipton takes round 1. Whoa, Hunter is really far ahead. Look at this guy. This guy's been killing it. Okay. One was 65, the other was 130 or 150. I believe the Bulbasaur was 190. I'm willing to do 170 on the Bulbasaur. We got Cerulege, 140. And Zamazenta. Oh, round number 2. Oscar Resendez. We have a tie, everybody. Here goes. Hope my Clan Pearl doesn't come back to haunt me. Oh, my God. Nope, you got a 140. And Squelvet. You actually took it, Oscar. It's yours. It goes to Oscar Resendez. That's so funny, Oscar, that you're scared of your own Clan Pearl. Here we are. Cost of going out to eat is one thing. Living in a place where there are actually places to go out to eat that don't suck. There are places all. Well, yeah, and that's why we should get out of Lake of the Ozarks. But I'm from St. Louis. St. Louis had a lot of restaurants. It is. Kansas City has a lot of restaurants. There's, you know, some places may have the most restaurants or like the most Michelin star restaurants if you want to pay $600 for your meal that night. But it's not like you can't go to a place like Kansas City and St. Louis and run into a whole bunch of, you know, chains, a whole bunch of family-run businesses. Of course, those all exist there too, you know. There's a lot of variety in all over the place. But the difference is that I don't have to lose $25,000 a year additional when I live in a place like St. Louis, which I don't want to go to St. Louis, but it's an example is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's an example. Here, let's use the same sleeve for this. Okay, so that is Oscar Resendez. Congratulations, man. He's scared of his own clam pearl. Okay, wait a second. Let me make sure I'm spelling that right. Okay, make sure I spell that right. Good. Cost is going out to eat is one thing. Own nothing, be happy. Mister, any changes on my 4 TCC grade cards? Those are about to be worked on. Okay, have no fear. We're very close to getting all of it. I like to sit down and do a chunk of them at a time. So I was, you know, we had that fossil box break yesterday, and the day before that, or the day after that, we did this mushroom hunting or whatever. So we're going to have a nice evening, and I'm going to be able to work on it soon. Here's Adventure Time. I think you should stay where you are. You got a boat dock. You got everything. Well, it's very pretty, but again, we can't really deal with this. The card showing up like a week later. We can't be doing that. That's no good. Can't have the card show up a week later. So we got to move. And there's other places with like, you know, docks and lakes and mountains and all this other good stuff. Team Rocket Grunt says, throw me in the Lucario battle. I am sorry that one is over. Sorry about that. Okay. We need to set up another one. Note that they're all QR codes. Yes, we're going to get that just right for you, okay? I should have done that the first time, and I wasn't thinking when I did it. Here's Garrett. He wants a box of the Carddass Nikke. Okay, box of the Carddass Nikke. You got it, man. All right, here we are. Man, oh man, I gotta start getting ready for work. No! All right. Yeah, I like Las Vegas a lot. I like Las Vegas, but we haven't decided fully. How much for Fates Collide? Yes, we have fresh Fates Collide. This came out of a case, $40 a pack, right here. There it is. Flew to Vegas so I can visit. Yeah, you know, they're building that high-speed rail. San Diego to Las Vegas, 2-hour drive, 2-hour train drive. That'd be pretty cool, huh? I think that high-speed rail is going to make Las Vegas a very, very good investment area. Because you're going to be able to take a trip to San Diego where you just hitch a ride on a train and you're there in 2 hours. So let's say you wake up early on the weekend and you take that 2-hour ride. You can rent like an Airbnb, stay over into San Diego. So you rent the Airbnb Saturday and Sunday, hang out in San Diego for the weekend, and then bop back off to Las Vegas, where you pay way lower taxes for a much larger home than you would have gotten in San Diego, and you just get your work done on the weekdays in Las Vegas. See what I'm saying? I think that could be a very clever move. 2-hour train ride to the beach. Now, you know, a train ride, that's a lot better than driving a car. When you drive a car, It's way more dangerous. You rely on yourself to drive well, not be distracted. You rely on others not to drive distracted. And it's just a lot of work. It's like a job. And that would be like over a 4-hour round trip. But if you're just riding a bullet train, sit back, get your iPad out, watch a movie, you know, pull the blanket over yourself, presumably, whatever it is. Play some video games on your new handheld device, the Xbox device, maybe it's the Nintendo Switch 2, whatever it is. And then you arrive and Uber yourself to your Airbnb, and now you're ready to have some fun or something. What's a week later? I live in Manchester, and it's a city, and I never get my stuff on time. No reason to move unless you want to. Well, it's very important for me to get the product. It's very important for me to get the new product when it launches, on the day that it launches. That's very important, because that's not just important for getting views on YouTube. It's literally affecting my sales. We've now lost out on about 4 days of black and white sales. And the more sales you miss out on, the fewer total sales you'll make. Because people will just, they don't always wait. People just go out and they just get it wherever they want to get it, you know. And so yeah, the longer you wait, the less sales you make, the fewer views you get on the internet. It's all about being first when it comes to the internet, you know. So if we could show off the cards a week early, boom, you get 1 million views. If you show off your cards a week late, no views. All the keywords have been taken. All the buzz has already been had. So no, we need to be in a place where the cards arrive very fast. Could be who you're ordering from. I traveled all over Europe via train. Europe's so far ahead with transportation. We got to get that going here in the United States. I heard the challenge, though, of the United States is that it's really, really spread out, Alicia. So Europe is it's a bit smaller, you know. You got France, you got Italy, you got Switzerland, you got Germany, you got all these countries in between. And they're all just kind of crammed together. Yeah, Spain. They're all just kind of crammed together. And so train can kind of hit them all up pretty fast. In the United States, could you imagine traveling from Maine to San Diego? How big of a track you would need? I mean, it would be impossibly large. So the decision becomes, why would we build a train track there instead of airplanes? Airplanes, they don't require a track, and we're really efficient with the airplanes. Of course, an airplane, if it crashes, if anything goes wrong, you're dead. So a lot of people fear flying. We had some recent airplane crashes that are really bad this year, and, you know, people are nervous about flying. So, you know, trains can crash too and kill people, but we don't fear them the same way. I think they're a bit cooler. You're on the ground, you know, it's nice. But yeah, it would be nice if there were trains that took you all over the U.S. That'd be really nice. We have Amtrak out here in the St. Louis region, Amtrak. Our states are their countries. Yeah, our states are larger than their countries sometimes. So it would be nice, but it's in terms of cost efficiency. And by the way, if you laid down all that track, you'd have to actually manage it too. You'd have to actually keep them clean, updated, no vandals, no terrorism on them. You know, you'd have to keep them protected, watched, cleaned, lubricated, whatever it is that's needed, however it is they operate, repaired. So imagine a track that runs from Maine to anywhere, or New York. New York's one of the country's biggest cities, or Chicago. Chicago to Las Vegas. How big of a track would that be? It'd be insane how large that would be. And so we'd have to build it, and then we'd have to maintain it. And then somehow the ticket prices have to be lower than just using an airplane. It's just not going to happen. But California, sure, that makes sense. California makes a lot of sense because it's so densely populated. And you got some big cities out there, and you just connect them, right? So you might see something like that. They are building that. And also, this train track from San Diego to Las Vegas, I think, is a very big deal. And so Las Vegas, to me, looks like the investment move. You got Las Vegas. You've got Austin, Texas. Texas is good. Texas wants to do what California's doing. They want to build a high-speed rail between, like, Dallas, Texas, Houston, and Austin so that they're all connected. So Texas, that's another one. Florida's got like the prime white sandy beaches and tropical weather, and it's beautiful and warm and alligators and Florida man. But Florida, you know, they even talked about getting rid of the property taxes. And man, my ears perked up when I heard that. But also, I was researching something in Missouri. I was researching, in Missouri, I was researching property taxes. Income tax. They want to get rid of the income tax in Missouri. And I was researching an update for that, and it talked about how they plan on getting rid of the income tax if possible. It's not for sure, but it would be replaced by a bigger sales tax, which would affect me anyways. So in the end, Missouri looks like it's a place to leave. High chance of high chance of tornadoes. Not a growth state, not a state that Google, Apple, or any of these big companies want to move into. No tax incentives, and they're talking about getting rid of the income tax, but they haven't done it. Yeah, I feel like if you're going to move to Missouri, go to Kansas City, where the Chiefs are at, because that place is getting a lot of developments. Other than that, I don't know. In terms of financial investment, I don't know. The big states for me right now: Florida, Naples, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where my brain's at right now. Those are the two big places for me. After tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of research, Naples, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada. Garrett. Yes. Let's see, Mr. Garrett R22. You kept us busy, huh, man? California was giving funding for the bullet train a decade ago. They still haven't even started building it. Yeah, you guys should vote in leaders who will get it done. I can't really comment on that. I'm over here in Missouri. I don't have any control over any of that. I heard that they were kind of handing out money in a way that almost looks like it was corruption. So, like, let's say you got this guy, he's a contractor, and he's in charge of measuring the land or something like that, and his job should cost $200,000, but he was paid out like, $3.2 million. Like, how? And so there's almost this question like, is there a relationship between the contractor and the person who does the money? Do they know each other? Are they friends? Are they golfing together? Do they have family relations? What's up with this? And it's so much money being misappropriately spent. You can only assume that there's some degree of like, some kind of backdoor deal or a corruption going on. It's either that or it's gross incompetence. So either one's no good, but the corruption one's even worse. And it makes you feel kind of uncomfortable with your leaders. New Pokeball, love you a long time. Yeah, that money's gone. All right, so it is 6:51 now. For tonight, we definitely need new gym break cards. We definitely need them. And I've got plenty of cards around me, more than you know. Not just the ones on the table. We got plenty of cards around us. And we should be able to come up with some... Ooh, look at that. We should be able to come up with some nice break cards. It is. I kind of take it slow with the gym breaks these days. We don't go real fast with gym breaks. We've got the Fates Collide are available now. We got this new break here, this lovely Espeon break. It's a 1 in 4 odds. It's called the Sun Break. And Jose Arredondo's in there. So we just need 3 more people. I think this one could move pretty fast. He's a cute card. Here it is. That one could move pretty fast. Gavin Newsom trying to sue Trump for sending troops to quell the riots should tell you how incompetent he is. Yeah, I never see anyone praising that guy, but he had like a recall vote, didn't he? And he won the recall vote, I thought. Do you ever use FedEx or USPS only? I use USPS only right now. Speaking of what? Speaking of which, any luck with that Espeon or Leafeon? Oh yes, the Leafeon, the Leafeon. So, where is he? You say he went to my right, and we checked this whole area and didn't see him. Let me check up here. I doubt he would be up here. Let me check this real fast. I don't think he's up here. I think I was thinking about turning him into a break, and that was what was going on at the time. Okay, not here. Where would he have gone? I checked these boxes. He wasn't in these boxes. I might have to buy him from you. Not here. Let's see. He shouldn't be here because none of these have their sleeves on. Yeah, these are unsleeved. He was a sleeved slab. He technically could have gone into this box, but I don't think we saw him. Not there anyways. Maybe I was talking to people. Maybe I was distracted when I put him away. Why wouldn't he just go right back into the box that he came out of? because I would have been saying something like, oh, let's turn this guy into a break. That's what I would have been doing, right? I would have been saying something just like that. He's a Sith Lord. Gavin Newsom's really good at being bad. He looks like a Disney villain or something. It's hard to describe the way he looks. He's got like this corrupt governor of Gotham City look. Does anyone find him like attractive or good looking? He's got, like, even if I was a Democrat, I would be saying the same thing. He's just got like this look where you look at him and you just kind of get creeped out by him. If he told me something, I'd be like, you look exactly like a politician, and I don't believe anything you say. Whatever you're saying is finely crafted for me to listen to. It reminds me of that skit from Weiss Kids You Know, where the one guy's running for senator, and he's like, here's my family, who I've finally chosen to convey that I'm a normal family, but I'm actually a psychopath. Wow. So we're looking on the left side. Let me check this pot. I didn't check this last time. He's the same governor from Walking Dead. There's something, man. There's just something about it, you know? Some odd feeling. Some instinctual part of me that just says, are you sure about that? But that's just me. There probably are people out there who like him a lot, and they're probably very offended I said any of that. So I respect that, you know, people like him. Somebody likes him. How did he get in office? Somebody must like him. Sent $6 to be put into the Darkness Ablaze break, but can you change it to a spot in the Espeon? Yes. Yes, we can do that. You are. Okay, this gets to 2. If you could see how many slabs were just around me, you would understand how hard this is. I have a feeling it would have gone into this box. We didn't really check these too carefully, so let's see. These are for sale. The Deoxys. Not Deoxys, what's cash? Here's a wanted poster. I gotta put that up for sale, huh? Okay. About this one right here. Yeah, there's that guy who likes those level X Pokemon, and I have a second, look what I found. I have a second Electivire. I wonder if you would want that. Here's a General Grievous. That guy needs to be for sale. Magikarp. There's a Black Label. Oh, we got some really nice cards in here. Here's a really nice Cloud from Opus 1. Alrighty, check this one. Alright, so it's definitely not in these boxes. I don't get it. I really genuinely don't get it. It's going to make me very frustrated a minute here that I can't find this. Let me just go through these piles. I'm going to go through these piles in completion so that I can just say that I did and that they're gone. They're definitely not in here. We did this last night already. Okay, so I went through pile number 1, pile number 2. Okay, that's pile number 2. Pile number 3. Funny thing is, if it was in one of these piles, it'd be right on the top. It wouldn't be at the bottom, so there would be no need to search this way. Pile number 3, number 4. Umbreon. Okay, pricey stuff. Okay, and then you got this pile over here. Yeah. definitely just not in these piles. So where the hell else could it have gone? Sorry, guys, we're just searching. I wouldn't have put it in here, right? No. No, it's not in here, okay. So that's all ruled out. There's very few places left for me to look other than, like, maybe these boxes down here. What are these boxes all about? You don't have, like, a clip of me talking about it, do you? As weird as it sounds, if I actually could see my arm motion, I might actually have another clue as to what happened. If I could actually see it. Yeah, if I could actually see what happened, that could be a huge giveaway. I might have said something that tipped me off where it went. I'm sure it's somewhere Mr. Least expects. Yeah, it's obvious we have too much stuff at this point. There's way too much stuff. I need to start, like, emptying all the stuff out of this area. And it didn't go up onto the table for sale, right? Let's set this here for now. These need to be priced up and sold. You said this would be good for a break and set it to the left. I can look for the clip. This would be good for a break, I said, and I set it to the left. Should just be on top of one of these stacks then. That's where it should be. It should be on... Wait, is there a stack behind the other stacks? Oh, there's a stack behind the other stacks. Hold on, wait a second. What is all this stuff? Whoa. Oh, no, there's nothing here. What is this doing back here anyways? No, it's not here. I saw these Topps movie cards. Those are really nice. So that was in the back. Here's some more Topps cards, but that's even more hidden than the last one. There's no way it's on top of that. I'm going to wrap up and go hang out with Karis now. We are out of time. Yep. All right. I think in the end, I'm going to end up buying it from you in a second here. Yeah, maybe you could do me a favor, though. If you could find that clip, that's a little extra detective work. Man, that's annoying, man. Stackception. That's annoying as hell. I can't believe I've set it down in one little spot, and as a result, it's not findable. The Leafeon. My brain remembers seeing it. Ow. Okay, I'm gonna put these back here because I liked actually that we were keeping them there. That was a good spot for them. And then these, maybe with nothing there. Well, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here, guys. We'll be back on for the late night stream tonight. We have a lot more stuff to do tonight, and I hope you guys will be there for it. Bryce says shipping, so we'll be taking care of Bryce. Thank you, Mr. Bryce. Nice to see you, by the way. It's been a little while. And Victor bought into the Espeon break as well. There's one spot in the Espeon break when we come back for the late night stream. Okay, one spot left. And we're going to find that Leafeon as well. But yeah, if you have that clip, I would appreciate that clip because maybe it would explain something about where it went. It can't just, like, disappear. If I set it down, could I have picked it up a second time, maybe? Maybe I picked it up a second time to do something with it. Yeah, that's driving me nuts. All right. There's no way for a slab to just disappear. It can't just disappear. It's got to be right in here somewhere. I don't see it in these boxes. We already checked like 3 times. Checked it last night, too. I got no clue, dude. How's this work? Hey, what's up, man? This is a live rip and ship. I hope you'll join us for the late night stream. I go live and open cards live for people. We host unique breaks that you can't find anywhere else. So we'll be live again tonight at 1:30 a.m. Central Time. So I hope you'll join us for that. Smash that follow button so that you get a notification when we go live. So that'll remind you to join us, okay? It did go to the left. I second Zach. I remember that. Wonder what that means on the left, though. Like, if I could see the clip and hear the sound it makes when I set it down, that would be a huge clue. It'll be a raging clue. All right, I'm hopping off, guys. See you tonight.